I'm the psychotic. He's even more psychotic.
It was a few hours of just like incredible uncomfortableness and like, yeah, nastiness.
We're driving around on these residential back streets in the middle of the night. Clearly, this is not a great idea, but it'll make a great movie.
I think we both just took it so extreme to a 10 that I can't even give you details about it.
It was a good day. Let's just put it that way. Like you didn't need to act a lot.
Literally in the movie, that's what we got. I mean, we get one take. That's it. We go.
Wally Got Wasted was the most fun I've ever had writing anything. I wrote it with Adam, and here's the process. Adam is the structure guy, and I am the writer. I cannot handle structure. I don't like structure. So Adam knew exactly what needed to happen next in the story. The story idea was his idea.
I think it was around 2014 when I came up with the idea and literally laid out the whole story in one night with Seth.
He actually took a script that I had written that went off in a completely different direction and said, well, why don't we take it here? Why don't we, do a Weekend at Bernie's meets The Hangover type thing in LA?
Seth had a script that was, the first 20 pages was somewhat similar to this. And I read it and I wasn't sold on the idea, went in a different direction. And I said, this is how I think the movie should go.
And then he would come up with, we need this scene, we need that scene, and then this happens, and this happens, and then I would write the scene. And as a writer, I found that incredibly liberating because I didn't have to worry about the whole thing. I would just focus on one scene, and then I could write really easily. It was very lighthearted, very fun.
And mostly it was cutting the fat. It was trying to get the story to move, constantly move so the audience doesn't get bored. And there was a scene he wrote, the drive-through. The drive-through literally was the first draft. The drive-through stayed the first draft of the drive-through. And on the page, that scene was amazing. And I knew the rest of the movie needed to be as good as that scene.
And we were a really great team like that. So it was an incredibly enjoyable process, but it was also very, rewarding to have people respond positively to the script. And, it was a true partnership. There were so many challenging scenes in this movie and so many challenging locations. It was hard to know where to start. We wanted to start with something easy, but we just couldn't do it. So the blood scene was the second day of shooting, and it was a logistical nightmare because we really didn't have time to test the rig, and nobody really knew if it would work.
Action. How are we gonna move this body? As soon as we pull the knife out, we just...
And it just went, and then it just stopped. And then we were like, it's not really working, and then boom.
What the hell did these questions exist? What the fuck, man? Oh my blood! Put it back in!
And then out of nowhere, it was like a rocket blasted blood on our face. So it was funny on some level, because you were like, you knew that as soon as I pulled the knife out, it was supposed to like go, and it did a little bit, and then all of a sudden it was just like geyser, and it was like holding down a fire hose. It was ridiculous.
I think he had the pump, and he was like, oh shit, it's not working. So he really starts pumping as hard as he can, and then it just like a volcano.
I walk into a room after the take has gone off, and I just see blood all over the walls, blood all over these guys' faces. They're covered in blood. And James, as the dead guy, I think also was just like blood seeping through his pants, seeping everywhere.
I'm sitting there on the ground on my back, keeping my eyes still, because we do these long takes and my eyes are like have to be open and I can't be breathing. And these guys, the props are just pouring this blood all over me, and I'm just like, dude, it's like going down my back, down my pants, and I'm just sitting in this like gross, sticky red liquid for hours. And it was just like, yeah, there's no glamour in any of this, man. There's no, it's just the way it goes.
And James, such a trooper that he is sitting there just drenched in blood. And And Patrick, too, being Mitch, he was an extreme trooper, too, shooting blood in his face. And me and him just screaming at each other at the top of our lungs in the scene.
One of the many fuck my life moments on the production is the grip truck got a flat tire. And he pulls it into the cul-de-sac and basically stops it, and I see this enormous flat tire. I mean, this wheel, there's a picture of me kneeling in front of this wheel looking just like, fuck my life. Like, what? I looked so stressed out because this wheel's like this tall and it's flat. And I'm thinking, I don't know how to fix this, you know? I think like a mobile repair place, and they think they came and they fixed the tire. But one of the problems we were having, and we had this at one point, was you're shooting in a neighborhood, you don't want to make too much noise because you might piss off the neighbors and they might call the cops and they might come and shut you down. Well, we're trying to keep ourselves quiet. Well, this guy shows up to pick the tire, and it's like, vroom! It's like the loudest sound I've ever heard to inflate this tire. And I'm sitting here, my heart is racing, and I'm just thinking, the neighbor's gonna come storming out of the house and be like, what the hell are you guys doing? But thankfully, this particular neighborhood was really cool, and nobody gave us any trouble.
When you don't have a lot of money, you got to get things done. And so we had a few days that were permitted, but a lot of the locations we were guerrillaing. A lot of days I spent convincing security guards and convincing cops to let us shoot there when we had no business being there. So whatever I have to do, if I have to convince you using sympathy, I will. If I have to convince you using any other tactic, I will. I mean, we have to shoot, so I have to convince you. However I'm going to convince you to let us shoot here, I'm going to do it. And the crew is literally deer in headlights, just looking at me going, should we do this? Should we not do this? And so I'm then have to go talk to the security guard or talk to the cop. And half the time, we had such a big crew and grip trucks and all these things that people just assumed we should be there. So literally the crew would all look at me because the security guard or a couple security guards are looking at us. And they all look at me like, what do we do? So I'd go talk to the security guard, but little did they know, I would literally just go up to the security guard and be like, hey, how you doing? You know, how's your day going? Cool, when do you get off? That's awesome, man. Well, we have a wonderful day. I'm gonna go shoot my movie. And walk back and shoot. And the security guard just assumed we were supposed to be there, you know? And the crew goes, oh, okay, he talked to security, we're fine. You know, he's got the green light. But really, no, there's no green light. It's just me fucking driving the car by the seat of my pants and making it work, you know?
So what's the deal? Why can't we shoot in the front right now?
Because we have about 50 people trying to buy groceries and they're not leaving anytime soon. So this is what you get with indie filmmaking. You just gotta roll with the punches. Take a look around.
Aaron, you having a good time over here?
I'm having a great time. Working in front of a live audience, you know?
It's like a theater.
The world is my oyster, and there's oysters right over there as well, so perfect. Yeah, so I spend this entire movie with my eyes like halfway closed. So driving normally with my eyes halfway closed is a challenge. Now you rig up a camera right in front of where I am, of where I would be looking out of the windshield. You rig up these lights that are shining at me. We're driving around on these residential back streets in the middle of the night. Clearly this is not a great idea, but it'll make a great movie.
Say who you are and then who you're playing.
Tell us what.
Go.
I'm Simi and I'm playing Coco.
I'm January and I'm playing Valerie.
Coco.
Valerie.
Wally, ready to rock?
Never not.
Jesus Christ!
Hey, listen. I moved this movie along. Without me, the stakes don't get as high as they got.
Ronald Quigley is just his own character in life, period. So he's an enigma. He's his own area code. Like, he comes on the set, he's got an opinion about everything. But here's the fun thing about Ron, he's actually one of the sweetest people I know. And he just wants to do good work.
How hard was it for me to get the part? I didn't have to audition, honest.
Just a character, man, and takes his work very seriously, Ronald, and always wanted to get the shot right, and was just a trooper, you know, because these are late nights.
Okay. Ask me about Patrick.
Okay. Repeat the question.
Repeat the question, please.
Well,
and please.
What was he like?
No, yes. Repeat the question, and please cut that part out of me asking you to repeat the question.
No, I'm saying when he has to use. He should be working a lot more, to be honest with you. And hopefully this movie is a showcase for him. Because I know the guy doesn't like to audition a lot, so hopefully Ron gets some work from this. Because he definitely kicks some ass.
We had some great YouTubers in the movie. We were very lucky to work with them. You know, we plan on marketing and promoting this movie ourselves on social media, on the internet. And we said, you know, it would be great if we could include some talented YouTubers along with the seasoned actors that we have in some of these roles. So we have, you know, like Lauren is in there. We have Simi Singh as Coco. We have Daryl. We have Nikki. What's really awesome is that I think that they all gave great performances in their roles. So it was a really good opportunity where they got to be in a feature film, and then of course we're gonna, you know, work with them to help share the movie with their followers and, you know, other people on the internet.
We worked together a lot before the film. We had, I think, 3 rehearsals before we went to film, and I actually met with Patrick too, and it was really awesome. It was definitely cool to play it out, and he blocked all the scenes before, so I was really appreciative to have that before shooting, because a lot of times if you're doing an indie movie, everything is run and gun and there's no time.
It's like streamception. Everyone is Instagram. Alright, guys. Okay.
Since I was like 6 years old, I wanted to be an actress, and that's always what I wanted to do. I used to dress up as like a air hostess, like play my roles, and like as a lawyer and stuff. I didn't actually want to be those things. I just wanted to play the characters, and it was always been a dream. So to actually like get the chance to fulfill that, being behind the scenes and, you know, all of that good stuff, like it was way different than like what I'm used to doing in my YouTube videos.
Simi, I am on a set of Wally Got Wasted, and that's the freaking car that I have to drive into the garage.
My name is Alex Renee, and I play the part of Crystal.
I believe this is Alex's first film, and she did a great job. She did a phenomenal job. She's very directable.
YouTube is a different animal than Facebook or Instagram or Snapchat. So YouTube, I think, has a lot of power. I personally watch YouTube all the time. So, you know, I definitely know the audience is powerful. Yeah, I want to be like Wally. I just don't want to die.
I think she has a promising career in acting if she really wants to take it on.
I'm sorry to bother you, but I was wondering if I could get a picture with him?
I think Maddie did a great job. She's very positive all the time, and she's very directable. She was very willing to try it a different way and stuff.
I've been at this game for a long time, and to get to be the lead of a movie and to get to play and try to make people laugh, it's a dream come true. It truly is.
I think they're gonna see that brotherhood. They're gonna see especially the 3 guys just relating to one another and how that looks through good times and bad, and kind of just chilling with friends and having some like deep-rooted relationships and that kind of thing.
I mean, I hope that it's a throwback to comedies that we kind of grew up, at least I kind of grew up on, maybe in the mid 80s, where the comedy's broad and silly, deliberately silly. But I hope that people like just really find it super, super silly and fun. I think that's the whole point.
There were just so many blessings that happened throughout production that it was just, the whole thing was incredibly stressful for me, but it was also one of the best experiences of my life.
I hope that people take a fun ride from Wally Got Wasted. I hope they laugh a lot and enjoy a little more than an hour and a half of their time and just get engulfed in the movie. Ultimately, our goal was to make a fun, fast-moving movie. And I think that's what we did.
It's Wally Got Wasted. I'm Wally. I hope you enjoy the film.
Thank you.